Hello everyone, I'm Maria and welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe and all those things, ring the bell if you want to have it ring. Alright, I don't know how to do that. Arcane, yes. I know everyone and their mothers have done a video about this series at this point, but I don't care because I want to talk about it anyway. So, going into this, I knew nothing of League of Legends, alright? Like, I know it's a game. That's pretty much it. That's the only thing I knew about League of Legends. And oh my god, I was not expecting what I got. So going into this show, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't hear anything about it. I think I watched the first 3 episodes in the weekend they came out. So it was this hype was still not out. I didn't know anything about it. So I didn't go into it thinking it was gonna be the masterpiece that it turned out to be. In Arcane, we follow a group of characters that live in this made-up sci-fi world and in a city that is divided vertically. So on the top you have like the rich people, the topsiders. Piltover is the name of the city. And below it you have Zon, or it's not called Zon yet, but it's like the underground where all the people struggle to live. It's a very poor area. It's full of corruption. People struggle. You get the point. It's like really rich people living on top, really poor people that struggle to survive living below. And there is, of course, a resentment from the people who live below towards the topsiders because they have everything while they have nothing. And we follow a set of characters that live distributed throughout these 2 zones. And of course, their stories end up all intertwining somehow. This is going to be a non-spoilery review, sort of, like at least the first part of the video. Then towards the end, I will tell you when the spoilery part comes up. My overall thoughts is I love this series. I really do. I don't watch many series anymore just because they take a lot of time. This one, it was one of those series and I'm glad I watched that. And I'm actually rewatching it now with my father. And that's why I felt like, okay, I really need to talk about this. I want everyone to watch it. The animation, do I even need to say something about it? Like, it's amazing. It's so beautiful. The expressions in the characters' faces, like, they make it so real. You completely forget you're watching an animation. It's just beyond amazing. I was like, the animation is just incredible. It's really, really good. It's really beautiful. The shots, the world they create around the characters, just really, really great. The characters are my favorite thing besides the beautiful world and the colors and everything they created. I don't think there is a character I don't like. Not in terms like I want to be best buddies with all of them, but in terms of characters in the story. They're all amazing. Even the villain, there were scenes and moments in which I felt sympathy. There were moments in which I felt sympathy for the villain. A story about people rather than just, you know, cliches of people. And that's really cool. I love the characters. The story kind of revolves around 2 main characters, 2 sisters, Vi and Powder. And while there are other main characters, I think the story definitely focuses mostly on those 2 and their relationship. What I liked about it is that while they are the center of the story, kind of, the other characters were also given, you know, reasons and motives to do what they do. And there are so many characters that I think for the time they had, you know, like 9 episodes, they did it really well. There were some things which I will talk about a bit in the spoilery section, that I think were a bit rushed. But I honestly, there's nothing in the series that I would have not put in there. So in order for things to not be rushed, then you would need more episodes. You would need longer, you just need more time, which they didn't have. So given what the time they had, they just created, for me, a masterpiece. I've seen a lot of people commenting on the soundtrack and the music. I personally mostly enjoyed it. The way they placed music within the story. There is a scene that I did not like very much, which I will talk a bit more in the spoilery section. But overall, they kind of include these, like, songs, you know, with lyrics, real songs from Imagine Dragons, Sting, and some other artists I didn't know. Whenever, like, something is happening, you know, like, shit's going down. There's something epic or some key point of the series happening. And most of the times, I think they did it really well. And I think it really added to the whole ambience of the series. I've seen some people disagree with that and saying that this placement of these songs in certain scenes took them from the story. This did happen to me once, but I will have to talk about it in the spoilery section. Overall, I really enjoyed the musics. I think they did a really great job in creating this atmosphere with the music and the characters and the visuals. I think that was really cool. So overall, from a scale to don't even bother till, you should definitely watch it. You should definitely watch it. Of course, keep in mind this is a sci-fi animation, but I mean, it's also very character-driven, so if you like character-driven stories, you can maybe close your eyes to the sci-fi parts of the story. It is in a sci-fi world, and there's a lot of sci-fi things happening. So that's it. Now I'm going to talk spoilers. So if you haven't watched the series and you want to do it, please just leave. Vin and Powder/Jinx. Oh my goodness. That was, what a ride that was. That ending. Like, this is a tragic story. Jinx is a extremely traumatized person filled with remorse and grief and loss, who has serious abandonment issues. Who wouldn't? Because she's been left by almost everyone in her life, either because they died or because they actively left, or so she thinks in the case of Vi. And she's someone who's deeply troubled and who finally gets to have someone who loves her unconditionally, Silco, unfortunately, who wants to, kill a bunch of people, and who does kill a bunch of people and will stop at nothing to achieve his dream of the nation of Zon. And that scene when, this like father-daughter relationship between the two of them was a joy somehow to watch. These are two people who deeply care for each other, and they are, even though they are, seen, or especially Silco is clearly the villain of the story, but he's still human, and he is deep down inside, they're the same, and they love each other because they feel the same. They feel like they've been abandoned by the people they care for the most, by their siblings especially. It was just beautiful to watch their relationship unfold, and with that dramatic ending. Oh my god, this girl is scarred. My goodness, I don't know. There's not one character in this series that I didn't like. All characters are badasses. There's not a single character, even the side characters that we are not supposed to care that deeply about, I cared about. Like, I forgot her name now, like Victor's secretary that just was, had this huge crush or love or admiration for him. I felt really bad, not only for Victor, obviously, who's the character we are supposed to really care for, but her. She was so sweet. She was such a sweet character. And that's the one thing I really appreciate about this series, is that they managed to give a personality even to people that just appear like a couple of times throughout the series. And that was, I really, really liked it. I really liked the villain, as I already said. I do think that in the first couple of episodes, he is portrayed as this sort of, I'm the villain because I want power and that's all I want, which changes throughout the series and is fantastic. When I finished those first 3 episodes, I had the feeling like this guy is like just a villain. Yeah, he's just evil because of evil things. It changed, like my perspective completely changed throughout the series, because he is very humanized throughout the series, and I really liked it. But yeah, in the beginning you do have this very bit cookie cutter sort of characters. I'm rambling a bit. This is totally unscripted. This is what this channel is all about, just me sitting in front of a camera and like talking to you about my thoughts about stuff. Yeah, so totally unscripted and a lot of rambling. I loved Mel. Mel is probably one of my favorite characters. Jinx and Vi are my favorite characters. I love them. I love both of them. I also like Caitlyn, but she was not so well developed as Jinx and Vi, but she seems like a character that could be quite cool as well. But because she was not the main character and she was not so well fleshed as a character, I didn't love her as much as I did Jinx and Vi. I loved Mel, and I loved her character arc. She appears to be this like ambitious, power-hungry sort of person who's very manipulative and who's using Jace just to reach her goals. And especially in this scene in the opera, you really feel like this is just her, you know, being a puppet master, and Jace is her puppet, and he's doing everything she wants, and she just really doesn't care about him and is just using him. But as the story progresses, while she is ambitious and she is someone who desires power, you can see that her intentions to have that power are not based on or rooted in like some evil, you know, thing or some solely self-serving. There's always some self-serving part of it, obviously, but she also really wants to save her people or to protect her people. There is a strong part of her that wants to avoid violence because she's coming from this other country that is, yeah, I think it's a country that has experienced war, and she wants to avoid it at all cost in Piltover. And also you realize that she really cares for Jace. It's really hard to understand whether she always cared for him, and that's also why she got involved with him, or if she just starts caring about him after she's been involved with him. So I really, really liked her character, and I'm really sad if she really dies. Like, I think she's gonna die. I think everyone is going to die except for Victor and Jace, because Victor has all this magic going through him, and he's probably gonna survive, and Jace has his hammer, which probably creates some sort of protection field around him. Or maybe he creates a protection field around Victor as well. Or I think one of them is gonna save the other somehow, and they're probably the only ones who are gonna survive, I think, in the next season. Victor is also a super interesting character. He's someone who I think is very good at his core, who wants to do the right thing, but who also at the same time has to deal with his sickness. And it's so sad at the same time. It's such a tragic story. I think Victor's and Jinx's are the most tragic stories within this arc, because for completely different reasons. But Victor has to struggle between his suffering and the suffering of others. He has to decide to set aside the potential of him being able to walk again and again freely and having this power to protect other people, or experimenting with his things to protect other people. And I don't know, that's just really heartwarming. His character was also really, really cool. Okay, so now one of the things I didn't really like, it's not I didn't like it's a minor thing, but the main flaw for me of this series is the underdevelopment of certain relationships. But as I said, you would need more episodes to be able to flesh out these relationships better. But the one I had the most issues with was Caitlyn's and Vi's relationship. Not in terms of because they were so fast attracted or had to each other or had chemistry really fast. I think that happens in reality. People feel attracted to other people or have this click with other people really fast. It's more how their trust relationship went from, I really don't trust you at all, like we are from these completely different worlds that kind of hate each other, to I would almost like die for you in the span of, I think, was one day. I do understand that they did go through a lot, and that there is some trust that is built because of those experiences. They did save their lives in countless times without having to, but like the fastness of it felt a bit artificial because it was so fast. And it would have been cool to see like a bit more of a build up. I would have liked to see that a bit, I just felt it was a bit fast. Also, Mel and Jace's relationship, as I said before, I think it was very interesting because you were not really sure what Mel's intentions were with Jace, if she really cared for him or if she just was manipulating him. And it was made clear that at some point, at least, she really cared for him. But I would have also liked to see more of that dynamic. I mean, it wouldn't be important for the story. I think Caitlyn and Vi bothered me a bit more than Mel and Jace's relationship. The music, right. So, oh my god, there's this one scene which I thought the music was really good. It's that scene where, I think it's in episode 6, when Jinx lights up this blue smoky thingy to call Vi to her when she realizes that Vi is alive. And then there's like this panning of the camera, and it's animation, I know, but like this sideways panning, and like she's holding the thing, and there's the guys, Milo and this other guy, I forgot his name. I know it starts with a C, but I forgot his name. And their spirits kind of appear. Oh my god. that whole scene, and then Silco is going nuts because of Vi escaping, and Vi is escaping with Caitlyn badasses, and like that whole scene and I think the music just fit. I really liked that scene. The ending also fits. You can say whatever you like about Sting, but I also liked the monster you created. I think the song really fit the ending. The one part that I thought was a bit that pulled me out of the story, I can appreciate the artistic flair of it, but it's when Vi is in the lanes and suddenly Imagine Dragons appear playing. Vi was walking all badass. Suddenly Imagine Dragons, and there's this background music, and then suddenly they appear playing the music. I was like, oh, wait, what? Suddenly I'm taken out of the story and out of the world into, oh yeah, I'm watching a cartoon. Yeah, and now Imagine Dragons are a cartoon. Cool. Imagine you are immortalized in Arcane. That's pretty cool. And like, if I were the Imagine Dragons, I'd be pretty stoked about that. But as a viewer, it took me out of the story in that moment. It didn't happen with any of the other songs. Like, the fighting scenes, I think, were pretty epic. Yeah, I know some people, for example, didn't like any of the songs in the series. I liked most of them. They didn't bother me at all. Yeah, okay, I've been talking for a long time. This is gonna be a long review, but I can talk about this forever. I probably forgot a bunch of stuff I wanted to say. So yeah, watch it. So if you're here, you are in the spoilery section, so you know it's how cool it is. This is the first series review I've ever done, ever. I know this has no structure at all. I just really wanted to talk about it. Let me know what you thought about Arcane. Have you watched it? I just want to talk about this, really. Like, I like this series so much, and I can't wait for season 2. My goodness. There's so many characters I didn't talk about. Vander, Savika. I didn't go in depth into Silica. I talked about his relationship with Jinx a bit, but this professor guy who's a bit creepy, I forgot his name. Victor, and then Jay. I don't know. There's so much I could have talked about. Future Maria here. Looking back at these recordings, I realized the amount of things that I didn't talk about that I wanted to talk about. There's 2 things I cannot let slide. The first one is the voice acting. My goodness. The voice acting for all of these characters was amazing, especially Powder/Jinx. Like, I cannot imagine that character with another voice now. Also Vi, I loved Vi's voice, all of their voices. Like, they just, you can only do so much with the visuals, but the acting and the emotion behind the voices was what really brought these characters to life. So yeah, love the voice acting. Second, Vi. I didn't talk about Vi. How did I not talk about one of my favorite characters and one of the main characters? Vi is awesome. I love her as a person. I think she is really good at heart. Vander says so as well. R.I.P. Vander. But I love how she is fierce in protecting those she cares about, and she's true to what she cares about and to her values. But she's also a very flawed character. Someone who's a really good leader and has really good leadership instincts, but whose leadership sometimes goes a bit overboard because of her hot-headedness. So she kind of loses a bit this rationality, and she just goes a bit she's just a flawed person, and I love that about her. Even with the flawed characteristics, she's awesome and super badass. An amazing, someone who has really strong leadership skills, who really stands up for the people she cares about and what she believes in.
I love Vi, okay? I just couldn't end this review without talking about Vi, and that's it. Back to old Maria.
Yeah, so that was it, kind of. I just wanted to sit here and gush about this series that I really enjoyed. Probably a series one of my favorite series of all time, probably. I don't watch many series, but this one is definitely on my top 5 series of all time. Thank you very much for watching this video. Check all my stuffs down below. I'm actually now affiliated to EpidemicSound, which is where I get my music for all my videos, and to Skillshare. If you want 1 month free trial on any of these, you can check them down below. Use the link down below and you'll have 1 month for free. And that is it, everyone. Thank you to all my patrons on Patreon for supporting this channel and my other channels. You can also check my main channel and my Portuguese podcast channel down below. It's been great. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.